let me just start with a few questions. Have you ever lived at other places before you actually residing at where you are? Lots of hands over there. And have you ever felt at some point you have to make some effort to merge into some social circles? Like, for example, trying very hard to lose a distinctive accent to be exactly the same with the rest. And do you actually consider where you live now as your hometown? That's really good. So, fellow Toastmasters, contest chair, and most welcome guests. I come from the other side of the planet over 2 decades ago. And the difference in culture and language, it just made me, I have to make the effort to adapt myself a lot. And that actually changes along the stage of my life. I have to adapt the way I adapt into the environment. So over 20 years ago, when I first came in the UK as a student, I observed the culture and exaggerated to my families and friends. I give them a few calls. You don't believe it. They use calculators in the supermarket when I give them £20 notes. And even with that, they are slower than me. And at the other time I get a phone call. I said, do you know how long I waited in the A&E? 6 hours. And my blood dried up when the nurse came over. I really admired the patience of British people. Not so many complaints. People are very calm. Stay in the chair and just waiting. And then sometimes I give the calls. I said, their country links, the road are very narrow. I don't think I can drive in this country at all. And after all, I don't have to worry about that because I went back to my hometown after my study. And I thought, because I came to another country, I enjoyed the difference. I had a lot of friends, classmates from all over the world. I thought I was expert in exotic culture. That's my first stage. And then after a few years, I came back again. And this time, we decided to stay here for a medium term. Partly because I didn't feel that I belonged to Chinese culture 100% as before. So things have changed. And so I picked up my English again. I became sensitive to some subtle language, especially towards ethnicity. And I pretend being strong when I don't feel psychologically safe. I took a job as a commission-only salesperson, just to practice my English. Sometimes I don't sell. When that happens, I've got a little voice over there said, you look like Chinese, your English is rubbish. That's why people don't really want to waste their time listening to you. And I remember the day when I told my manager about this. He rounded me up with a unsympathetic comfort. And he said, this sort is just rubbish. Bad days happen to everyone. With his eyes not even looking at me, I remember that day is overcast, just like almost every day in Manchester. And it's drizzling outside. I remember he looked very pale under the artificial lights, just like my mood. It takes me years to realize, actually, sales performance It's actually more to do with skills and experience instead of your language level. But at that time, I was really, really sad. Luckily, the next day was a sunny day. So I bounced up, I charged forward. After a few weeks, I was a high roller in the company. I was so proud of myself. And I give credit to my awakened Chinese blood in hard working. And gradually, with more and more little success, which recognized in the mainstream, I felt I'm more melted into British culture. With my culture confidence swinging up and down, I had my children. I came back to work when they released me a bit more. And I was really, really lucky. I got a great manager to restart with. He encouraged me, affirmed me, included me, advised me. So that made a difference. I just felt, actually, it's not that hard. It's just when you don't really feel where you come from is a problem, you actually found the difference between people mainly comes from personality, your religion, your education, a lot of other things, even a gender. At least not more than, not less than your skin of color, your race, and the language you speak. And culture is not a simple thing because it's really include where you're from, how you're brought up, and the lifestyles you choose. I really hope one day, I mean, from now really, I want to live and visit a lot of places, as many different cultures as possible, to explore why and how people live differently. Because everyone lives on one planet. And that's a good enough reason for us to share our open mind. So now, if you ask me the question, where is your homeland? My answer is the earth. Wherever you feel you belong is my home. Thank you very much.